So I normally wouldn't do a review on a truck like this because there's probably not a lot of people interested. I mean, look at how butt ugly that thing is. All right, calm down. If you like Cybertrucks, you're weird. All joking aside, I got this thing for 65 bucks on sale delivered, and that was reason enough to buy it. It's got a 2-speed transmission, and this thing looks really similar to the All-Star AX, so I think it might be their second version. And whether you like the Cybertruck or not, I think the components and the chassis underneath are definitely worth the price I paid for this truck. But before I tear the body off and start modifying this thing, let's take a look at what it's all about right out of the box. In the box, you got a manual, charger, and some stickers, and I actually think these are pretty cool. Some Jurassic Park stickers, that's kind of cool. Not really sure what those would look like on a Cybertruck, but probably couldn't get any uglier. Okay, it comes in a plastic sleeve there, and it's not even held down with anything, but it's pretty snug in the box, so it doesn't look like it took any damage. Oh, it does come with mirrors, that's cool. The controller actually feels pretty good for the price I paid for the truck. It's got steering trim and steering dual rate. It's got steering reverse. It's got a speed limiter switch. And here's your on and off switch. It looks like you shifted here with these 2 buttons. And it doesn't have a foam wheel, but it doesn't feel terribly cheap. Looks like I can also drive it with one hand with no problem. So overall, I like it. But you never know until you slap some batteries in it and start using it. All right, this thing looks pretty cool. Said not me ever. I just don't know what it is. I mean, I think the big tires and wheels make it look cooler than it does with smaller ones, but with the front end sticking out like it does, and the back seems to look shorter than the front, which is weird. Turn the front tire that way to make it look better. All right, let's start with these wheels and tires. These tires are not great, but they're not horrible. They're pretty stiff, but I've definitely seen stiffer. So with this tread, they should get some grip. Wheels are just one piece, not beadlock. Here's the on and off switch, and it does look like the AX and the TRX 4M underneath, which is what I was hoping because I'll be able to swap out a lot of these parts. It does have lights in the front and back, which is killer. And from the front, I kind of like the look of this thing. But from the side, I don't even... It has the TRX 4M clipless body system. So you just push these little latches here and the body comes right off. So inside, very similar to the AX, it's got the 380 motor, but it has a 2-speed transmission and the servo is here. So this is probably a different ESC than the AX because it has the 2-speed, but it does have the same battery setup at 500 LiPo. So other than the new 2-speed, there's really not much to look at under here. I do like these fender wells and guards for the underneath of the truck. That's great. The shocks are kind of hard to get to, and they're plastic. I'm not sure if you can put oil in them. However, the shocks are one of the things that's compatible with TRX 4M, so I'll be replacing those. All right, let's get this jiggly thing out on the trail and see what it can do. After that, we'll bring it back here and see if the skeleton crew can make it cooler. All right, before we run it up the new course I'm working on here, let's cycle through the lights. And you do that with this A button here, and you just keep hitting it and it cycles through. That's off, that's on, and that's on with blinkers. And then it just has a bunch of other cool patterns. They also work on the back, and it does cool patterns as well. All right, those lights are kind of cool. Let's see if we can step down off of here without crashing. So she's definitely a little jiggly and maybe a little jumpy. You know, the ESC really doesn't feel that bad. I'll be surprised if it makes it up this little climb here. Kind of hard when your tire, it's kind of hard when your tire gets into that spot there. Doesn't want to pick up over the rock. Oh, nice. That was pretty good. You know, if it wasn't so jiggly, the tires would be staying on the ground better, getting better traction. And of course, these tires are pretty terrible. They definitely got some tread on them, but you know, they're not soft. They're not going to conform to the ground and give you maximum traction. But look at that, this thing's trooping right along. The modulation's pretty dang good. It's better than some of the much more expensive trucks I have out of the box for sure. I don't like that there's a brake before you reverse, but if you're a beginner, it's probably not a big deal. Probably not going to bother you too much. Definitely having a hard time with some of these tougher obstacles, and the reverse thing is kind of herky-jerky, real hard to control with this controller. It seemed like it was easier with the AX8650, but I don't know, I haven't driven that in a while. If this thing was less jerky, it would be way more capable, including just bouncing like that, because you're just constantly losing traction. Eat, you little Cybertruck. Apparently you can't force feed this thing. But it is growing on me. I think I could probably do something with the body to make this thing look pretty cool, and I'm gonna definitely give that a try before I change the body out, because, you know, a different body is always good. I'm tired of the Jeeps and the freaking Land Rovers. But I am definitely gonna change some other stuff out on this, and just with a couple quick mods, this thing's gonna be way more capable. So it can definitely 4x. I wouldn't call it a crawler. You know, it's definitely a decent trail truck out of the box, and for the price, I'd buy another one. Because with just a few free mods, I can make this thing way more capable. And if I put a couple bucks into it, it'll be a little monster. But before I fall too much in love with it, let's go test out the 2-speed in the driveway. So I built this little U4 course here in my driveway. It's just temporary, and I built it for the Funhaver, HPI Funhaver 1/18th Venture truck. If you haven't seen that video, check it out. But anyways, I thought it'd be a great place to test out the second gear on this truck. And it's just the B button right here on the controller. You just hit it once and it switches to second gear, and you hit it again and it switches back. There's no neutral, so it makes it real simple. All right, let's see if we can burn out a little bit. Whoa, that is way faster than I thought. Maybe it'll jump. Nice. Wow, this thing is legitimately as fast as the Funhaver. Look at it. It doesn't have the power of the Funhaver, but it is fast. Whoa. Okay, so I am tripping. I did not expect second gear to be anywhere near this fast. I've never had a second gear on a crawler be this fast, but check this out. And the battery's got to be close to dead by now. That just adds another element of fun to this truck, actually. And man, I mean, for the price, you can't beat that. Wow, look at that thing. Just zip, whoa. Wow, this truck has surprised me. It is definitely not what I thought it would be. And it's got me kind of excited to upgrade it. That 2-speed transmission is just fantastic. All right, let's take it back to the shop and talk about what I'm gonna do to it. This little thing is so freaking zippy in second gear. I couldn't believe how fast it was. I definitely don't have any crawlers that are this fast in second gear, at least 1/18 scale, not even close. And the body's really not that bad for crawling, you know, with this sloped nose here, sort of tapered front end. It doesn't do too bad. And I was gonna set this thing up as a crawler, but with that crazy speed and the 2-speed, I'm not gonna do that. I think what I'm gonna do is make like a Baja U4 truck out of this thing. I haven't seen anybody do that with a Tesla body yet, so that might be kind of fun. And I just got this HPI Venture 18, and it is super fun. And I'm gonna build a really cool permanent course for it, so I'm looking for other trucks that I can drive on that course. If you want to see the video for this truck, hop over to my channel and check it out. It's pretty freaking awesome. Back to this truck here. So this clipless system on here is a little finicky, and I'm definitely gonna fix that. If you're gonna buy one of these and keep it stock, I'll show you the first things that you're gonna want to do to make it way more capable and funner to drive. There's a couple little pegs right here on the servo mount. If you just take a pair of body scissors, you can chop them right off. Now the servo arm can swing much farther in each direction and give you way better steering. Number two, this thing's bouncing around like crazy. So I'm going to pull the shocks off, put some heavy grease in them, and that'll take care of that problem. Then I'll pop some wheels and tires on this thing. I think with just those few mods, this thing would be a really good little crawler. So for the price, if you're looking at getting into the hobby, this is a great truck. If you want to pick one up, the link will be in the description down below. Their list price is like $120, but they go on sale all the time, all the way down to like this one I got at $65.99, I think. All right, thanks for checking out the video, and if you found it useful or helpful, could you please hit those like and subscribe buttons? And don't forget to smash the bell to get notified of my future videos. Also remember, when you think RC, think Go Brothers RC. Thanks for watching. Dude, I bet you could pick up hecka chicks in this thing.